This is Newgy's updated RoboPong 2055 table tennis robot. Prior to owning this robot, I used the iPong V300 with the iPong net. The primary reason I upgraded was because of the recycling ball net. The V300 has a maximum capacity of 80 to 100 balls. This means that even if you hit all of the balls back into the net, you will still have to go scoop balls out of the catch net and back into the robot. This gets annoying because you are limited by the machine rather than your skill level. In addition, the V300 uses 4 different settings to shoot balls: topspin, backspin, oscillation, and frequency, which control the speeds of the 4 motors. This is fine for the majority of recreational players as it can simulate a wide variety of shots from any angle. The downside of the iPong system is that it is difficult to change the placement and speed of the shots through oscillation, topspin, and backspin using manual control of analog settings. The final nail in the coffin is the V300's inconsistent nature. When there are more balls loaded into the system, all the motors slow down, including the ones shooting the balls. This randomness is only good for training if you know how to read the ball well already. However, most of the time it ends up shooting the balls into the net or off of the table. The V300's manual ball loading control system and its inconsistency were the primary reasons for my purchase of this robot, the Newgy Robo-Pong 2055. This aside, let's take a look at what the robot comes with. The updated model no longer comes with the DVD and full manual. It is replaced by the quick start guide. This is the control box and the mounting bracket. The power is routed through the control box to the robot using that power supply. As you can see, the robot folds extremely well, considering how big it looks on the table. My iPong net would always be a pain to take up and down because it is built using a fiberglass shot cord pole system. If your table is not the standard thickness of 3/4 inch, the robot comes with these rubber tips that will adjust for that. It also comes with these plastic clips that allow you to connect the elastic bands from the nets directly to the table rather than to the net posts. I was also very glad to see that Newgy finally got rid of that yellow catch net and replaced it with a thin black mesh. The robot comes with the Pong Pal for ball pickup, only if you live in the US. We will take a look at that later. This is a net measurement tool that you'll probably use once or twice when setting up your table. But other than that, it's almost completely useless. Unfolding the robot is relatively painless. The net support tubes do not lock in even though they might appear to. They are held in place by the weight of the net. Unfolding the net can be tricky at first, and you should make sure not to put unnecessary strain on the netting. The trough kind of gets stuck if you don't pull up on them all the way. I had a lot of trouble my first time opening, but after that it became really easy. The robot also comes with 48 40mm 2-star ABS orange balls. Notice that they fit in the southern trough relatively easily. Here's the 5-pin 180-degree DIN connector that is used to connect the robot to the control box, and these are the balls. The robot is relatively lightweight, so you can use the center post for transport. In order to mount to the table, the robot uses a clever cantilever system, shown here. I also decided to opt in for the Robo-Tote because I knew that I wouldn't be using this thing all the time, and most of the time it would be in storage, and I didn't want to keep the box. So this was the best solution. At the time I purchased this, the black tote bags were being phased out in favor of these new gray ones, which I was not pleased about because I was hoping to get a black one. As you can see, the ball dams are orange instead of black as they were on the previous model. It was kind of difficult to get the robot into the bag. However, I'm sure that with time and practice it becomes easier. It's just hard to get the bottom platform into the bag. After that is done, however, it's really easy. The RoboPong uses a cantilever support system to mount the robot to the table. The iPong net that I had previously mounted via the corners. This did not work well on this particular table because there are ball holders on the corners. The 2055 solves many of the problems I was having with the iPong. However, it does compromise in some regards. The biggest being that the controls are wired to the robot and has only one shooting wheel, meaning you have to manually adjust it for backspin. These two issues are solved by the RoboPong 3050XL. However, that is basically a first generation product and has problems of its own. The RoboPong 2055 has been refined to be consistent and optimized for training. It recycles its balls and the oscillation and ball speed is programmable, meaning it can do a variety of drills, 64 of which are built in by default. The side nets can be attached in a variety of different ways. In this case, I'm using the net posts, but you can also use the included clips on the bottom of the table too. The red elastic bands on the RoboPong net are far superior to the clamps on the iPong net. They allow you to do much more and are much simpler. The 5-pin DIN connector now has black connectors rather than the old gray ones. It connects to the robot through a hole in the back of the net. The control box is bigger than it looks, and it feels very robust. It has 4 ports on the bottom: power, 5-pin control, a USB female, and a male serial port for use with the Pong Master. The bracket used to attach the control box to the table once again uses a cantilever mechanism which can be adjusted to your table's thickness. Mounting it to the table is as simple as it looks. Leveling the control box is as simple as rotating the knob. The power supply has an option for an international adapter. The length of the power supply cable is not ideal, however it is fine in my situation. I am only limited to how far I can move the control box up and down the table. The UI on the control box is very simple. The orange button is for power, the yellow is for test shots, and the green/red button is start-stop. The OK menu button is the next and back button depending on your menu. The robot's normal control method can do simple oscillation shots with constant ball speed. The menu button takes you back to the main menu shown. The drill mode is probably the most useful, as it comes with 64 pre-programmed modes, ranging in difficulty. The setup mode is self-explanatory and allows you to calibrate the robot's center, as well as some other things. Let's start with drill 1. It asks us first to change the spin to the top and the angle to 2. This is done at the head using a brass knob. Loading the balls is very simple. Notice how the trough can accommodate many more balls, and that the elevator is empty at the moment. The robot also comes with a net measuring device that can also measure the maximum rubber thickness. I was not expecting a lot from the Pong Pal. However, it is surprisingly practical. My biggest concerns were its small capacity and they can only pick up one ball at a time. I own a more traditional ball net and it is far superior to the Pong Pal, but it comes at the cost of mobility. It comes in two pieces so it can fit in most bags or cabinets. Due to its cylindrical shape, it can also be used to sweep balls that settle on the table into the trough. There is a small elastic band at the bottom of the tube that prevents the balls from falling back out the bottom. Here's a demonstration of how it would work when picking up one ball. It also comes with some extra elastic bands as well as some Velcro to allow you to attach the Pong Pal to the underside of your table. Let's watch some test footage of drill 1. When you use the robot for the first time, the elevator must reach maximum capacity before it can start shooting balls. This is caused by a mechanism known as the agitator. The agitator messes up the balls and pushes them up the elevator using a motor and some springs placed in a special arrangement. One of the downsides of this mechanism is that there will always be a few balls left in the elevator. The agitator can only push balls up to the head if those balls are in the elevator. I believe this is a small price to pay for the recycling ball system. The current model now has rubber sleeves around the springs in the agitator. This solves the problem of the net getting caught in the agitator, and it also acts to put more grip on the balls when collecting them and pushing up the elevator. This is a test of the robot's consistency with ball placement as well as speed. I will let you be the judge, although I know it is much better than my old robot. Notice where the ball lands in almost the same spot every time, depending on how well your table and robot are mounted greatly affects the consistency. I believe my table is pretty solid, so these results should be as good as they get. Overall, I would recommend this robot to anyone who plans on training seriously. If you plan to use the robot recreationally, I would probably recommend the V300. The recycling is the best feature of this robot, and is almost a necessity when you're dealing with this many balls. The 2040 is also a good value. However, the lack of programmability made it much too similar to the iPong V300 to warrant its cost. In my opinion, the best value robot currently would be a used RoboPong 2050, as it is almost the same robot in this video, but about $200 cheaper on the secondhand market. The two downsides of this option are that the robot will have a yellow net and it will be less consistent. This robot will last to at least a decade, and is perfect for those who want to take their games to the next level. If you have any more questions, just post them in the comments section. Thanks for watching.